welcome everybody. So today I want to show you how to make a tumbler. So there's lots of different variations on a tumbler, but really your goal is to make something cool and interesting, right? So you can do a basic tumbler and then have some really cool patterning on it, and that'll make it have some added interest. But what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do kind of a combination of that. And I'm also gonna show you how to belly something. And you can belly something kind of higher. You can belly something kind of lower. I'm gonna show you how to flare. And I'm also gonna show you how to change the shape of the sides and the base. That's another way to add interest. And I'm also gonna show you how to do some like indenting and stuff, and how to use your bellying to puff certain areas and indent certain areas, so we can make something super cool. All right, thanks everybody. So now I wanna show you how to add in a belly and a flare, okay? So I have my construction basically done. I don't have anything on the bottom. There's no bottom in here. But what I'm gonna do is I need to decide where this belly is gonna happen. So the easiest way for me to do that is to take an extra piece of paper and fold it and put it right up against the edge of my project, and then make a mark all the way around, and making sure that it's flat against the table, that it's flat against the edge of my project. I'm just gonna lightly trace all the way around. And then I can do the same thing if I like the height that the other side is, which I actually kind of do. I could either refold, or if the other side is the height that I want, then I can go with that. But I'm gonna give myself a start and a stop point for my bellying. Okay, now that I've got all the way around, for this next bit, I like to stand up while I do this. It just makes it easier for me to see what I'm doing. But basically, I'm gonna put one hand on the inside, and I'm gonna support from the outside, and I'm gonna be making scooping motions with my hand to gently push the clay out. Now, at first, actually, I'm gonna use this hand. At first, I just wanna do a little bit, and I'm gonna set my finger on the outside hand just below the line that I created. And then I'm gonna pull my finger up, and I'm gonna stop at this top line. And then I'm gonna scoot a little bit, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm putting my finger underneath the line on the outside, and then mostly I'm just using my middle finger to scoop on the inside until I get to that top line. And since I have my project on this piece of paper, it's really easy for me to rotate this as I go. Now you only want to go little bits at a time, okay? If you try to do this all in one big fell swoop, you're probably gonna end up having a difficult time with it, especially when you get to your seam, because your seam is like the weakest part. Now, if you do get a split in your seam, that's okay. We'll fix it later. But for right now, so as long as it doesn't open all the way, if you get a little split, it's okay. You just don't want a big split. Okay, so now that I've gone all the way around, I want to come out and away from my project so I can really see the shape of the outside edge, because I want to go around and I want to look, does it look even? Do I need to adjust any areas? Do I want it to be more puffy in some areas or less puffy? Because when you're right next to it, it's really hard to get an actual idea of what it really looks like, right? So you want to step back and really take a look. Now, this top edge, I like to kind of make this top edge show a little bit more. So I'm just going to take my fingers and kind of compress it a little bit, just to emphasize that part a little bit more. But really do step back and look at your project, because it'll look great from when you're right on top of it, and then you'll step back and you'll realize, oh my gosh, this side is wonky. So that is a real key to success there. Okay, so now if I'm happy with this and I want to flare that bottom, so I want to make this part the flare, I'm going to flip it over. I'm still going to have it on my paper, and I'm going to have my finger on the outside, And then I'm going to use this part of my finger on the inside to rub and kind of push that clay out into that flare shape. So again, this is one of those, you go little bits at a time until you like it. And once you get all the way around once, pause and go look, like step away from your project, go look at it and see, like, you know, does it look even? Do I need to add more flare? And make any changes that you need to make. But that's how you do the belly and the flare. Now, next step is to make it a shape on the bottom. So it could be a triangle, it could be a square, it could be a heart. There's all kinds of different shapes that you could do, but I recommend keeping the top round because it does genuinely make it easier to drink out of. If you've ever tried to drink out of a square or a triangle, you tend to get dribbles. Now, for me, I know I'm gonna do the triangle again, so I can kind of give myself like a little marker on here and be like, I think if I go like that, and if I just make little marks and then check before I start, I can make sure that they're nice and even. And since I just made a little teeny mark, if it's not quite even, I can adjust it. So to change the shape of my bottom, I'm just kind of squishing, right? So I could make it more flower petally, I can make it more triangle, whatever I want. Now, if I just do the bottom and leave this all flared, that would be okay, but I want there to be a little bit more to this shape. And usually I'll go about halfway down with this shape because, like I said, I want to keep the lip of my cup round. So I'm just going to gently press the sides to kind of continue that shape. And if I need to, I can kind of like push a little bit on the sides. And I'm gonna keep doing that until I like it. Now for like this one, so if I want to do this one, there's a couple additional steps, but I start off the same way because I have that triangle bottom. If I'm doing this one, then now I just got to add on the base, right? But for this one, we're going to do a little bit of bellying, and then we're going to do some like reverse bellying kind of. So really what that looks like is I'm going to flip that back over, and from the inside, I'm just going to push from the inside to create that little belly right there. But instead of trying to belly all the way around, I'm just going to belly in a couple spots, right? Now, sometimes people like to do this where they want to like create a spot for their hand to sit. So they want like their fingers to be right there. It just kind of depends. But as you're doing this, stop and move back and check it out. And then if you're trying to make those indents like these right here, it's literally just the opposite, where you're taking your finger and you're just kind of like supporting from the inside and pushing from the outside. And that's how you're going to create those dents. So really take some time, make something super cute, something fabulous, and make it a good day. Thanks, everybody.